Welcome back and thanks for staying with Newsnight. The Independent Electoral Commission has welcomed a proclamation by President Cyril Ramaphosa formalizing this year's national and provincial elections. The voters' roll for the 8th of May elections is now closed following that proclamation. No further applications will be added to the voters' roll beyond today. This includes additional registrations and re-registrations. The IEC will now discuss the official election timetable with the National Party Liaison Committee. Registered political parties can also submit their candidate nomination lists. To discuss this, I'm joined by the IEC's Chief Electoral Officer, Mamabolo. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much for your time. So your first order of business tomorrow will be meeting with the political parties to talk about what exactly? What are you going to discuss with them?
Once a proclamation is published calling the election, as has happened today, the Commission must meet with the Party Liaison Committee to consult on the election timetable. The election timetable provides for cut-off dates and cut-off times for various electoral activities, such as applications for special votes, cut-off date for the submission of lists of candidates, the payment of deposits, the publication of voting stations, etc., etc.
So when you meet with them, what happens? Do you then come with a timetable that says on such and such a day you will have done A, B, C, D, and E? Or do you sit there and propose dates and then in other words, it's a court-determined timetable?
It's a consultation. The PLC generally, it's a advisory body to the Commission. So we will present them a draft on which they will make inputs and we'll try to find consensus within the Party Liaison Committee. Thereafter, we will then have to publish the timetable in the Government Gazette.
Now, after meeting with the Party Liaison Committee, what then becomes your next big milestone, especially for the broader public?
The first big step will be the publication of the provisionally compiled voters' roll with addresses, so that political parties can have that, look at it, analyze it, and if they are unhappy about any element thereto, they may then raise objections which the Commission must consider. It's a new innovation that we are introducing so that we can have a structured process of dealing with objections to the voters' roll. Then people who are outside, or rather who intend to vote at the missions of the Republic, they have 15 days from today to notify us of their intention to vote outside of the Republic. And two categories are implicated. The firstly is people who are registered on the voters' roll in South Africa, but who won't be in the country on election day. They have to notify us of their intended absence from the Republic and where in the world they wish to vote. The second category relates to those South Africans who have registered on the international segment of the voters' roll. They still have to notify us of their intention to come and vote and the place where they wish to vote.
Now, then the parties will have to provide you with their lists and where they will be contesting the election, where they are contesting nationally, also in all provincial, contesting all provincial legislatures or only some of them. When will that be, or is that what you will still have to discuss with them when you meet with the Party Liaison Committee?
We will have an answer to that question tomorrow because it's one of the issues that we are consulting parties on. And once there is consensus with political parties tomorrow, we should be able to then issue a statement for everybody to know when the close of nominations will be.
And then with regard to other things they will have to do, like having to pay the fees that are required. I mean, we're looking at 200,000 if a party is contesting the National Assembly, 45,000 for each of the provincial legislatures. When will they have to pay those monies by?
The deadline that pertains to the submissions of list of candidates equally applies to the payment of election deposits. So that date will be the same for both activities. So really, I think on the part of the Commission, we really want to urge parties to be prepared and ensure that all the admin supporting documents that they need for submission of lists of candidates, as well as the payment of deposits, they have them ready, because after tomorrow we'll have a deadline for them.
And as things stand, how many parties altogether have indicated their intention to contest the election?
Well, nomination opened today with the proclamation. We don't have any indication at this point. However, there are 299 nationally registered parties who potentially may contest the election if they submit lists of candidates and if they pay the prescribed deposits.
But what has been, from a historical point of view, how many of the parties have you had in the past, say in the last election, of those who are already registered, but vis-a-vis those who actually contested?
In 2014, on the national ballot, we had 28 parties, and in the Western Cape Provincial Parliament, we had 32. Our estimation is that we may come just under 40 for these elections.
Okay, that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Thanks very much for your time. The IEC's Chief Electoral Officer, Mamabolo, on the back, of course, of President Cyril Ramaphosa today signing that proclamation.